Hello, everyone. It's Monica Pelli with Organized Wellness, here to talk to you today about essential oils for mood management. This is a topic that a lot of people are interested in because we all want to feel better, both emotionally and physically, in a natural and effective way. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. A couple tips. If you are watching this, you definitely want to grab a pen and paper because there will be notes you want to take, and I'll be able to address any questions at the end of the presentation. So to introduce myself a little deeper, my name's Monica Pelli, and I've included my husband Leo in this picture because he's the one that actually introduced me to the therapeutic use of essential oils. So Leo is a big part of this journey for me, and my health background, my wellness background as a professional is I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer. And I have a true passion for empowering women to fill their cups by nourishing themselves, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. I love to help men and children too, but I really feel that, women are the gatekeepers for a lot of the wellness in their own family, in their extended family. So you impact the women, and you really make the biggest ripple in the health and wellness of the entire family. And I work with a lot of women on a professional level that are clients of mine, that are go-getters. They're wonderful people. They're really juggling a lot, and their cups are empty. A lot of them are on antidepressant medications. A lot of them don't feel good about themselves. They're super high functioning on the outside, but they're suffering on the inside. And so I glean so much joy from helping these good people feel as good as they deserve. So that's a big passion of mine. And then why essential oils? Why essential oils with mood management? So for about 2 years, I have incorporated doTERRA therapeutic essential oils into my wellness practice. And in that time, it has helped so many people on such profound levels, both physically and emotionally, that I've really never seen anything like it in the wellness field. Like, I've been trying to, as a dietitian, I've helped people change their diets for years. I've been a dietitian since 1999. And it's hard for people to change their behaviors. And one of the easiest places to start is with essential oils, because you're going to get an immediate benefit from it, an immediate feel-good side effect of it. So then that motivates people to take harder steps with their lifestyle when they start to feel better quickly. So a lot of the information, if you want to take it to the next step, if you want to learn more about me, if you want to contact me, or at the end, I'm going to talk about a cleanse program that I'm offering. My whole hub for everything is my website. So my website here on the homepage is organized-wellness.com. So you can get all your questions answered and look at more information through the website. So in this class today, you're going to learn the science behind emotion and essential oils, tools and habits for healthy body chemistry, and practical emotional wellness steps that you can take now, that you can literally take today to start feeling better. Now, to lay the groundwork here, we need to start with this question. Would you like to be more happy, connected, and empowered? That's kind of a duh. Everybody would probably say yes to that. The flip side of that, do you want to stay stuck? The interesting part is, even though most people would answer yes to the first question, their behaviors don't always reflect that. So, let's start this presentation at the offset that if you really want to be happier, more connected, and empowered, then you got to take the next steps. You got to take the action that will support that. And then this piece about staying stuck. Just last week, an acupuncturist, excuse me, the heat's running here. It's winter time and my throat's getting dry. Excuse me for a moment. This piece about staying stuck. An acupuncturist friend of mine that works almost exclusively with women had mentioned that she's like, some people are addicted to suffering. Like, as time goes on, they just get in these cycles of suffering and they don't get out of them. It's kind of like their thing. And there's actually some side benefits. There's some payoffs for some people staying sick or staying unhappy or staying down. So we're going to create some awareness from the offset of that. And if you really want to make the shift, there's actions that will support that. And one more thing I'll say before the next slide is that it's really up to you, the individual, to take responsibility to receive the amount of self-preservation and self-care that you need to feel happy and healthy. So it's once we take 100% responsibility for our own happiness and health, it's a real game changer in what we do next. So getting more deeper into the information, you are created to function as a whole. This is the way we're designed. So we all are designed, to be connected through body, mind, and spirit. That equals wellness. When we have strong connection spiritually, physically, mentally, then we are more whole, balanced, happy, healthy individuals. And you see the word nourish on all of those things. So unfortunately, these things take work and daily nourishment, just like anything else in our lives. We can't just do something once and expect that result to last forever. Like, we really have to maintain our spirituality, our physical health, our mental health, really on a daily basis. But we are amazingly designed to function as this whole. Now, your body is made up of intelligent cells wired to restore health. This is the good news, is that our cells want to be healthy and balanced. They want to function optimally. And so we're wired to restore health. Even when we've been sick physically and mentally, we can lean more towards balance in the restoration of our health. On an emotional level, so this is what emotions are, and this is very interesting, that emotions are information-carrying molecules. So they're chemistry. Emotions are information-carrying molecules that bind to and react with cell receptors. So we see in that little picture of the cell, the cell receptor is the Y looking thing there. So each cell has multiple receptors on it. And so this cell diagram has an example of one receptor that is accepting emotions, the chemicals of emotion. So these emotions get into the cell and they impact cell function and behavior. So that's why our emotions affect us both physically and mentally, because of the impact on the cell. And so once again, in this cell image, the cell is receiving those molecules on one of its receptors, and the receptors function as sensors and scanners, like the eyes and the ears of the cell on the surface of the cell. And they're just waiting for a chemical to attach a message. And those messages are received inside the cell, and then they're going to influence your energy, your mood, your behavior. And so it's really fascinating on how emotions physically affect the cell. Emotions are processed throughout your body in multiple cells throughout your body. And modern science is revealing that there's 3 brains, basically, and we're going to expand on this information. Science reveals there are complex neural processing functions in the mind, the heart, and the gut. So we're going to expand on these 3 brains. So obviously, the brain in our head is the one we think of the most. That's, our mind, where logic and intellect is housed. The subconscious mind directs over 90% of our behavior. So a lot of our behavior is, we're not even consciously thinking about that behavior. We're just wired into these routines. So then we go down further on the body to the heart. That's our intuition. And there are more neural pathways that run from the heart to the brain than from the brain to the heart. And I've done a bit of research on this, and even over 2,000 years ago in the Bible, there's over 1,000 references to the figurative heart. So not the literal heart, but the figurative heart. So this information has been around for a couple thousands of years, knowing that there was some type of brain type activity coming from the heart. Now, the gut brain is the one that I'm hugely passionate about. As a dietitian, like, this is becoming more and more of my passion, this gut health, because they're finding that the gut health, the gut is the center of the entire body. So you get your gut healthy and you're going to influence everything else in your whole body, both body and mind. And this is interesting too, that in the gut, 90%, over 90% of the body's serotonin involved in mood management is processed in the gut. So all these gut microbes, they secrete hormones, they secrete chemicals, they secrete messages to us, their host. And so a large part of our feel-good, happy hormones are produced in the gut. So if you have low gut function, like most people in society today have a lot of gut problems, if you have low gut function, chances are you're going to have a lower mood function as well. We're going to talk about some ways to take control of that gut function. So the three brains communicate with each other. They feed back to and therefore influence the mind. So that's a quote from a neuropsychologist, Dr. Carolyn Leaf. So here in this picture, we have the three brains. There's connection and wellness between those three brains. And when those three brains become disconnected, that's when disease starts. So the problems lie in the disconnection between our body, between our mind. So staying connected leads to wellness. Disconnection leads to disease. So your three brains instinctively process every life experience. So all day long this is happening, and it says instinctively because these things are happening without you even having to consciously make choices. It's a chemical cascade that's happening in our system. So we have a life experience. We see the example here of a woman. Everybody wants a piece of her. She's got the kid, she's got the pet, she's got people talking to her, so can anybody relate to that picture? Has anybody lived that or knows somebody that's lived that? The answer would be yes, for sure. So there's a life experience, and then we process those emotions, and we process them in our three brains and throughout our entire body. So our mind brain, thinks certain things while we're processing, like I have to figure this out. Our heart brain has other feelings, like I feel overwhelmed. And our gut brain also experiences a lot of things. All of us can relate to GI distress, to gut distress when we're processing certain emotions. So there's, we process, then there's the reaction. So some of us, we'll get a lot of head and neck tension when we're processing things that are stressful to us, or whether it's conscious or subconscious. We feel it in our jaw, in our neck, in our shoulders. I know that I carry a lot of tension in those areas for me. Our heart brain may have conflicted feelings, and then the whole unsettled stomach. Like I said, hands down, I think all of us could relate to having some gut response, gut reaction to an emotional response. So the problem really comes in, like it says at the bottom of the picture, disconnection. So when those things are all firing off and reacting in disharmony and disconnection, that's when we really start to suffer a lot of physical and mental symptoms. Now let's get into the science of emotions and essential oils and how they interact chemically. So once again, we see this image of the cell again, and that it's accepting these chemical messages inside the cell. These receptors, those Y-looking things are the receptors that accept messages. And so in an essential oil, one drop equals 40 million trillion molecules. Now, that number is very mind-blowing for me. It's almost like trying to count the stars in the sky. So numbers like that, I just translate that into big picture. So basically, they're very potent, they're very powerful, and they're very complex, okay, in just one drop. So these chemical compounds service every cell of the body in a matter of minutes. So therapeutic grade essential oils, the doTERRA essential oils that I work with, they act like, they're medicinal grade. They impact your entire body within a matter of minutes. That's how powerful they are. And essential oils support cell receptors. This is very interesting because many substances, both prescription, non-prescription, over the counter, Other substances, it could be like artificial sweeteners, things like that, damage cell receptors. They don't support the health of the cell receptors. They wear them down or they damage them. So this is a big differentiator in why essential oils do not come with side effects. They come with side benefits. And a piece of that is the cell receptor issue. Essential oils also promote healthy cell function. Once again, they get inside the cell and impact the body at a cellular level. And then they maintain the cell's natural state. And that's why in doTERRA, every quarter they put out a living magazine, and Dr. Hill is the chief medical officer for doTERRA. And he had written an article that somebody asked him something like, does the effectiveness of essential oils wear off over time? Because many people, myself included, have had the experience of a medication, of a prescription or over-the-counter medication working well for a time, and then our body's becoming ineffective with that medication. And that has to do with cell receptor issue. It largely has to do with cell receptor issue. But Dr. Hill said, no, like, you will always get a similar impact on essential oils over time because they don't damage the cell receptor. So that message stays good and strong for years to come. And that's the neat thing, that, you know, because the essential oil does the same thing in a human cell as it does a plant cell, the properties are there to protect, to nourish, to defend the plant. And it does the same thing in the human body. So it helps maintain our cell's natural state, which we want. A little bit more about essential oils, like what are they? You know, so they come from plants, and this is an example of a peppermint leaf and the peppermint oil sac that resides on the leaf. It's, you know, under a microscope here. So these sacs are the essential oil sacs. And as it says there, the grade of oil you use will determine its chemistry, potency, and efficacy. And so CPTG stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. So when you're entering the wonderful world of essential oils, you want to go for the most pure, the most potent in the world, which is doTERRA. And you can do your own research on that too. doTERRA is the largest essential oil company in the world with the most stringent level of testing, and they source their oils where that plant grows natively. So the chemistry and the efficacy is the best, because wherever that plant originates and grows best, they're going to pick it from there and they're going to process it from there. For instance, their lavender comes from the high mountains of France because the chemical constituents of the lavender are most effective in that region of the world. So it's just one example of how, you know, all brands or everything's not quality, and quality matters when you're treating your body like this to really get an impact. Essential oils are dynamic, supporting your body physically and emotionally. And we're going to look at some examples of this. So for example, doTERRA has a blend called Balance. This is a home essential. Like, we all need Balance blend in our oil. So Balance has several different essential oils in it, so it's called a blend. And Balance promotes whole body relaxation, soothes sore muscles and joints, promotes circulation, supports cellular health and overall well-being, lessens stress, and helps with anxious feelings and nerves. So there are several people on my doTERRA team that use Balance daily. In the morning, they wake up and they put it on the bottom of their big toe, which is the reflexology point for the brain, and around where the thyroid and parathyroid is too. So people put that on daily, and a lot of them put it into roller bottles. We'll talk a little bit more about that, so that they put it with fractionated coconut oil, a carrier oil, and just rub it on the bottom of their feet. They make it super fast, super convenient, and it's literally pennies per serving when you do it that way. So we help teach people how to use the oils most effectively. But can you see how, okay, there's an emotional component there on a nervous system end, anxious feelings, stress. So that's helping with the emotional side of things. But at the same time, it's promoting circulation. It's helping with soreness in the joints and in the muscles. It helps the body be healthier at a cellular level. So that's an example of how the oils can both help you physically and emotionally. Next, we'll touch on frankincense. If I could only have one oil in my life, it would be frankincense. They say when in doubt, use frankincense. And the other day I was watching a webinar about essential oils, and they said, when in doubt, frank out. Like, they had a little hashtag frank out. I thought that was a good way to remember it. So frankincense helps build and maintain a healthy immune system, promotes cellular health, promotes feelings of peace, relaxation, and overall wellness. So a few months ago, I went to a conference on women and autoimmune disease. I'm really passionate about this because so many people have autoimmune diseases these days, including myself. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which is when your immune system attacks your thyroid. And fortunately, I have it very well managed and it was caught early. But autoimmune disease is rampant. And on average, it takes and most people that have autoimmune disease are women. The majority of them are women. And it can take up to 5 years on average for somebody to get a proper diagnosis for their autoimmune disease. So there's a lot of suffering, pain, money, suffering wasted before a proper diagnosis sometimes. So becoming more empowered and taking more of a proactive approach with your health can prevent unnecessary suffering. So with frankincense, but at that conference, they said frankincense is part of the nutritional protocol for every single autoimmune disease. And why that is because of its impact on the immune system. So the way it supports, maintains, builds the immune system, it's like no other. So I do frankincense almost daily. I drop it under my tongue, and part of the mood management protocol is daily frankincense as well, because it's going to support your entire system. And the stronger you are physically, the stronger you are mentally. So when you can support yourself at foundational cellular health, you're going to be more resilient to anxieties, depression, etc. So frankincense, once again, when in doubt, frank out. Another example is several of the essential oils promote emotional purification because they promote physical detoxification. So once again, emotions are chemicals. And when you can move those chemicals out of the cell, when you can move them out of your system, you can process them effectively, they're not stuck inside of you, you're going to have a purification and detoxification experience happening. And this process anchors you in healthy biochemistry. So a lot of the issues we all face, whether it's pain, whether it's stiffness, whether it's mood management issues, a lot of it is things being stuck, things being stagnant, lack of circulation, lack of movement on a physical and emotional level. Like when I sit at a desk all day, I'm in pain, physically. I don't feel as refreshed emotionally. And so, something as simple as drinking citrus essential oils in your water help with that daily purification and detoxification in our system. Now let's talk about the 3 ways to use essential oils. Starting with, and especially on a mood management level, the aromatic use of essential oils smell is the fastest way to affect mood. Aromatic molecules have direct access to the limbic area, or the emotional seat of the brain. So aromatherapy has the word therapy in it for a reason, because there is science there to support this. And highly recommend you all visit doterrascienceblog.com. And this is just one of the many articles. We don't have time to go super in depth with this, but this article, Emotional Aromatherapy, Psychology Meets Chemistry, is on that doterrascienceblog.com. Very interesting. This image also came from that science blog, The Science of Emotional Aromatherapy. So you see in this little picture how the woman's breathing it in through a diffuser. She's breathing the essential oils in through a diffuser. You can also use your hand to do this and rub your hands together and cup it over your nose. But a diffuser is really a home and office essential to impact your mood and impact the health of the environment. And you see how it's going up her nose and tapping into her limbic brain. So the nose is an extension of our brain. And that's why memory, which is stored in the limbic brain, we've all smelled something and had a memory associated with it. That's the science behind it, because you've tapped into your limbic brain there. And we have little sensors inside our nose that create chemical messages to our limbic brain as well. So there's a whole pathway there of aromatic compounds impacting us on an emotional level. And so in the past year, doTERRA has launched an entire emotional aromatherapy kit. And so these are the 6 emotional aromatherapy essential oils that they offer. So, and they've looked at these 6 blends can help people balance their moods and take charge of their emotional well-being based on a chemistry level. So let's look at a little bit of the chemistry. So some of the oils, like the Motivate oil, is high in mints. So mints are high in the chemical constituents of alcohol and ketones. Those properties are energizing and calming. Then there's an oil next to it called Cheer. So Cheer is higher in citrus, which is high in monoterpenes, which are uplifting and revitalizing. So citrus is always mood uplifting. So there's several essential oils that are citrus based with doTERRA. There's grapefruit, there's lemon, there's lime, tangerine, wild orange. I put all these in my water, and now that I've learned about the science of aromatherapy, anytime I use an essential oil in a different way, let's say I'm going to drink it in my water, and you always want to put it in glass, stainless steel, or ceramic, because it does have a cleansing effect on it. So it's going to detox and cleanse. If you put it in plastic, it'll break the plastic down. Some people haven't believed me on that, and they've put it in their plastic water bottles, and the oils have melted out the bottom of the plastic water bottle. So plastics are toxic. So the essential oils will start to detoxify the plastic and break them down. So anyways, when I drink the essential oils, I always smell them. I open the bottle, take a big whiff of the bottle, so I get the aromatherapy benefit, and then I also get the benefit of taking them internally. So that's a quick tip there. Then there's oils that are based from spices, and these are high in ethers and esters, and they have a renewing and intriguing impact on us emotionally. Oils that come from herbs and grasses are high in phenols, which are comforting and soothing. Then there's several woodsy and oils that are from trees. Those are also high in chemical alcohols, which have a grounding and balancing effect. Now, I want to make the differentiator there. These molecules, these alcohols are not, we're not saying, they don't equate to drinking beer and wine and other things. This is a different chemical impact on the body. And then florals are high in esters, which are calming and reassuring. So that last oil blend is called Peace, and has more florals in it. So that's a little bit about the science behind, how doTERRA came up with these. They're very complex blends of essential oils that have specific chemicals in them, chemistry in them, known to impact your mood in a certain way based on their chemical constituents. So that's aromatherapy. Next, you can use the oils topically. You can apply them to the bottom of your feet, your spine, to affect cells, blood, and tissues throughout the body. You can massage them into specific areas for localized support. For instance, you can massage them over your heart, inside your wrists, which are your pulse points. They get right into your circulatory system extremely quickly at your pulse points, and also behind your ears. Not the earlobes, but the tissue, the soft tissue right behind the ears. That's a very quick absorption site on your body. You can also apply them on the back of your neck, across your forehead, on the bottom of your feet. Some essential oils also pass through the blood-brain barrier. So your body has a very intelligent barrier between the circulatory system and the brain, because that's a mechanism to protect your brain from toxins coming in, to protect your brain from a lot of harmful and dangerous chemicals. So the blood-brain barrier is very selective on what it allows in, and some of the essential oils are allowed by your body to pass through that blood-brain barrier, because your body knows by design that those essential oils are good for your brain health. So fascinating there. And then lastly, you can apply them over your stomach in areas at the bottom of your feet. So there, we have a reflexology chart. I have it posted on my website under the tools tab. There's the reflexology chart that shows you where on your feet and your hands are where your nervous system correlates to your body. For instance, the pads of your toes and the pads of these 4 fingers are your sinuses. That's the reflexology point for your sinuses. You can find the stomach, you can find the colon, you can find the lungs. It's all on that chart for you. So there's areas of the bottom of your feet that are very quickly absorbed into your entire system, extremely effective way to apply the essential oils topically. Now, an example of oils that are very popular to use both aromatically and topically are sleepy time oils. So some of those sleepy time oils are lavender, balance, woodsy oils like cedarwood, a blend from doTERRA that's called Serenity. That's their calming blend. That's also very important for anxiety and tension. It's their calming blend. A top sleep oil too is Serenity. And then vetiver is from Haiti. It's from a root, and it's also very woodsy, very calming to the nervous system. So you can apply these, especially on the bottom of that big toe before you go to sleep at night. Once again, the bottom of the big toe has to do with brain activity. People also rub them on their forehead, their temples, their back of the neck. They diffuse them next to their bed to support their sleep. So those are some examples of topical and aromatic use with the oils. Third and lastly of how you use these is internally. So once again, the only oils I would swallow and put internally are certified pure therapeutic grade through doTERRA. They're all labeled, the ones that you can use internally, because not 100% of them you can use internally. Even on the doTERRA brand, like something like the Breathe blend, you don't swallow the Breathe blend. You just use it topically and aromatically. But the certified pure therapeutic grade, they're all labeled with a nutrition facts label, and they say for internal use. So labeled for dietary use, may be taken under the tongue, in water, or in a gel cap to support your overall health. So one way to get in essential oils internally is to take supplements. Now, the Lifelong Vitality Pack is doTERRA's #1 selling product, even above the essential oils. I've been taking supplements my entire life. This Lifelong Vitality Pack is the most balanced for supporting your 3 brains. So both the cardiovascular system, your brain health, a large percentage of our brain, 80% of our brain is fat. So we need to feed our brain with the proper nutrients, including healthy fats like omega-3 fatty acids. And this omega-3 supplement has 9 different essential oils in it, including a daily dose of frankincense. So you want to add daily support with minerals, micronutrients, and healthy fats to nourish your physical body and your brain. And so essential oils enhance absorption of nutrition on a cellular level as well. So I advocate everyone to try the Lifelong Vitality Pack for at least 2 months, actually, because for cellular turnover, and anytime you make a big nutritional shift in your life, you want to give it at least 8 weeks to really allow for cell turnover and to see a significant difference. Now, also, we're going to talk a little bit more about the whole gut-brain connection, but gut cleansing restores clear thinking and improves mood. So this is another way to get the essential oils and essential oil products internally to support foundational health. So cleanse and restore gut health through a cleanse program. It says digestive function is scientifically linked to mood. So once again, as I said at the offset, low gut function typically correlates with low mood function. So this cleanse and restore, is the probiotics, the GI cleansing formula, lemon essential oil, a digestive enzyme is very important. When we have cooked food, when we eat cooked food, all the enzymes have been killed. And so enzymes are what every chemical reaction our body run off of. And so if we are eating foods that are processed or cooked without live enzymes in them, it really puts a strain on our body. So, ideally you'd want to put something live and raw into each meal so that you have some digestive enzymes. But when you don't, because that's not always realistic for people, you can take a digestive enzyme like Terrazyme. So let's just touch on a bit of the science. We're not going to go super deep into this because we want to make it more practical, but let's just share a couple things with you about the science behind this. So reduce sad feelings. This is a study that came off of the doTERRAscienceblog.com. So reduce sad feelings with linalool and beta-pinene. So what are those things? So let's read this paragraph that came out of that article. So many essential oils high in linalool and beta-pinene are well known for their ability to reduce sad and anxious feelings. Lavender and clary sage have high amounts of linalool, while lemon, lime, and white fir have high amounts of beta-pinene. Scientists published findings that both linalool and beta-pinene affect the monoaminergic system of the brain, which includes such well-known neurotransmitters as serotonin and dopamine in the adrenaline, noradrenaline, adrenergic system. Linalool and beta-pinene support brain chemistry balance in these receptors, once again, circling back to the receptor conversation, which has the effect of reducing sad feelings. And this is a 2015 study that came out. So how do we translate science, information into application? For me, I diffuse citrus oils. I drink them daily. I mean, that's just so easy, such an easy way to boost those chemical properties into my brain and into my body. And I highly recommend you do too. We're going to talk about a couple essential oil blends that, that contain lavender and clary sage that you can use on a daily basis to help boost mood, help support a healthy mood. So top 5 essential oils for linalool: coriander, basil, cilantro, lavender, and clary sage. So those blends are all contained in one of 2 doTERRA essential oil blends. So in Clary Calm and the Past Tense blend. So these are two blends I actually keep in my purse on the go. And as it says, Clary Calm is a woman's best friend because it helps balance hormones. It can provide, temporary relief of cramps, hot flashes, emotional swings. So Clary Calm, every woman needs Clary Calm in her life. And between the Clary Calm and the Lifelong Vitality Pack, taking those in harmony together, I have never had such easy periods. And I mean, that's been a dramatic shift in my life. What's happened on an emotional and physical level with balancing hormones with that. And then the Past Tense eases muscle tension in the head and neck. It reduces tension and stress and worry. It soothes the mind and body, and it calms emotion. So these are 2, once again, I keep on hand, and they both include some of the top 5 essential oils that contain linalool. Next up, when you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, I do a lot of public speaking. So this is a classic no-no of putting too much information on a slide, but I had to do it because I wanted to share every word on this slide with you to benefit your life. So we're just going to read through this together. So a secret to emotional wellness is intestinal health. Food intake affects every cell in our body, and about 40% of that intake is used by our brain. So if we're lacking in nutrients, we are lacking in what our brain needs to healthily function. So basically, we don't want to starve our brain of the nutrition it needs to function optimally. So certain foods spike unhealthy functioning in the brain. Top 2 are sugar and processed foods, which are rampant, and especially in the American diet. I mean, that's something that we're all tempted to consume every single day, but it harms our brain health. So sugar spikes excess dopamine in the brain and creates an addictive pattern with the dopamine cycle. Sugars also cause an increase of candida growth in the body, which weakens the immune system and affects us in many other ways. So when I talk to you about the cleanse program, basically it's an anti-candida cleanse because candida can wreak havoc in our system, especially if we've eaten sugar, processed foods, or been on antibiotics, birth control pills, steroids, things like that. So processed foods increase inflammation in the gut and in turn lowers the immune system and blocks nutrient absorption from the body and of course the brain. So if you want to do a little research on your own, just do a little research on the mountain of evidence surrounding an inflammatory diet and how that affects your mood, how that affects your health. So that's gut health and inflammation in the body are the 2 biggest things scientists are talking about today. It's couldn't be more clear that inflammation in the body and poor gut health, specifically the gut microbes in your system, how they're impacting you physically and mentally. So that is very easy to research because the mountain is there for you to tap into. Now, power foods for the brain, fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts, legumes, sprouts, and many more just fresh and natural foods all benefit our brain function. One example is walnuts have antioxidants that are high in omegas. We talked about omega-3s earlier, and research shows they help increase mental activity. Probiotic-rich foods increase frontal lobe function in the brain, and the frontal lobe affects behavior, decision-making, your personality, organization skills, and planning. Have any of you ever, felt a real dip in your motivation after having, some type of, eating junkie for a while, and your ability to stay organized and be a good planner and, just be at the top of your game and decision making and things? Diet does affect the brain. Now, these last few words here, these last sentences, they're all titles of research studies: the brain-gut connection, gut feelings, the emerging biology of gut-brain communication. I love the title of this last one, mind-altering microorganisms, the impact of the gut microbiota on brain and behavior. So the studies are there, you guys, to tap into very easily. You could just Google search mind-altering. You could take that sentence and just Google it and find the study. But I love that, mind-altering microorganisms. They know for sure that the microbiota is your whole population of healthy and bad bacteria, fungus, your candida in your system. These microorganisms, they outweigh how many cells we have in our body. So there's more of them than there are of us, and we're actually their host. So they want to control. They want to control their host. That's why they communicate things with their host, with what they want to eat. Like, let's say Candida. Candida thrives on sugar and processed foods. So it actually sends signals from your gut to your brain saying, eat more sugar, eat more processed foods. We like that. Eat more. So the more you get that under control in your system, because you can control, you can impact how many, what the population is down there and what they're doing, you can control that by diet and lifestyle. The cleanse program I do really focuses on giving you the tools to do that effectively and correctly. But don't underestimate the power of what's called your microbiota, all those little microorganisms that you're the host for, because they have a profound effect on how you feel both physically and emotionally. Couple other quick studies. This one was also off of doTERRAscienceblog.com. This is interesting. One of my other top fave essential oil blends is On Guard. This is their protective blend. So if you want to have a stronger immune system, when you're stronger with your immune system, you're better able to handle stress in life. You're better able to fight off illness and, low mood. So I take doTERRA doTERRA On Guard on a regular basis. And there was a study that showed that there's a potential healthy colon cell support with this compound called formaldehyde. And pharmacology research found that supplemental formaldehyde, the main chemical constituent of cassia essential oil and cinnamon essential oils, activates an endogenous, which is a natural internal antioxidant response in colon cells. So this means it maintains healthy colon cells. And this is, the study was done by Cancer Prevention Research. So once again, healthy gut equates to a healthier mind. So On Guard essential oil has cinnamon essential oil in it. It's one of the many essential oils in that blend. So you're not only protecting your immune system, supporting your immune system, but simultaneously supporting your gut health. So once again, the essential oils have side benefits and not side effects. So with all this said, where do you begin? Okay, so we've talked about several different essential oils. So doTERRA has created this mood wheel and for their 6 emotional aromatherapy oils. And once again, we talked a little bit about how the chemical constituent of the oils impacts how you treat that mood. So when you're feeling, discouraged, distressed, disinterested, discontented. Like, you look at the mood wheel and it just helps people be more empowered for becoming in tune with how you're feeling and taking an immediate action to balance that out. So for instance, forgive. I'm kind of laughing because even if you're in a good relationship, a good marriage, a good friendship, there's always something to forgive, on both ends. There's always some mistake we're always making. And so I've actually, put forgive in a roller bottle so I can just apply it handy. And then it mentally connects me with the emotion of wanting to be forgiving and just getting a little therapeutic boost with that through the essential oil experience. Now, once again, those 6 emotional aromatherapy oils and that wheel that they created, they did a mountain of research to come up with this. And that's only been launched since September of 2015. So that's less than a year old. And doTERRA's go-to standard for mood management oils they had before that wheel came out was Serenity, Citrus Bliss, Elevation, and Balance. So I have all 10 of these in my home. I use them. They smell wonderfully. I put them on topically. I use them aromatically. I put them in my bath. So it's worth considering how I always joke, we're all 2 inches from the edge. Like we're all, I don't care how strong you are, how balanced you feel you are. We can all be pushed over the edge in one way or another. So it's really important to have these tools on hand, and I use them regularly. Now, after everything we've talked about, whenever I do a public speaking engagement, no matter if it's corporate wellness or a smaller, class on essential oils or things, we always have to look at, okay, information is great, but action is what produces the results. So let's take some of this information and put it into action. And so we call this additive behaviors. Anytime you add something in, that's an additive behavior. So the question here is, what do I want to plant? What do you want to start to grow and nourish in your life after what we've talked about? We've talked about different essential oils. We've talked about different nutritional strategies and other things in this presentation. So, is it new beliefs, relationships, supplements? Do you want to do a cleanse? Do you want to, what is the next step you want to take, or the next steps you want to add into your lifestyle to start feeling better emotionally and physically? So that's what you want to plant. Subtractive behaviors are the things you take out or subtract out of your life. So what have you heard today that you want to subtract? So the question is, what do I need to weed out? What are the weeds growing in your life right now that aren't supporting the level of physical and emotional health you desire and you deserve? As we talked about, I have a real passion for helping women fill their cup emotionally and physically, and learn to nourish themselves and to, use a higher level of self-care and self-preservation in their daily life. So what is that thing? What are those things that you want to weed out of your life that are taking up space that's not helpful and it's not healthy? That may be negative thoughts, relationships, substances. There really could be a lot of things. And I just want to share a quick example of mentally why you always start with additive behaviors. So a few years ago, I do a seasonal outdoor boot camp. And so I was doing a boot camp, and 2 male friends in their 40s showed up. They drove the farthest out of anyone. They drove an hour to get to my boot camp. And they were the first ones to arrive the first day. And they showed up telling me, you're not going to take away our fast food. You're not going to take away our soda. Those were the first things they said. They were already stressed about the idea of me taking something away from them, because it was both a fitness and a nutrition boot camp. But it was them that paid, them that drove an hour, but they had that defense up. So I told them from the beginning, I'm not going to take anything away from you. All we're going to do today, all we're going to focus today with the nutrition part is adding some healthy things in. So I'm not worried about taking anything away from you. And, I'll just give you some guidelines on what are some great things you can add into your life this week. And I'll tell you what, the next week, they're the ones that came losing weight. We stopped our soda. We stopped our Jack in the Box trips. because, people don't like things to be taken away up front. So always start with additive behaviors. And that's why the essential oils, the supplements, those are the easiest, most passive things to add into your life, with the biggest return on your investment, both physically and financially. So start easy with the big wins, and you'll be more motivated to subtract things out later. But mentally, you always want to just let your mind think about receiving something versus having to give something up. And you'll do better psychologically when you interact with behavior changes. So habits, our daily habits, that equals our lifestyle. So if your daily habits do not represent the lifestyle you want, you got to change. You got to do something new. You got to do a new habit. So how will you nourish this new seed that you've planted? And that really comes through habits, practices, patterns in your life. Here's a little example of self-talk. I'm enough. I'm whole. Like so many of us doubt ourselves with insecurities that just weigh us down, like that you're not good enough. I talk to a lot of moms that they don't feel like they're a good enough mom. They don't feel like, they're trying to do 50 things on a daily basis, and something's going to fall short. Something is going to suffer on a daily basis when there's too much on their plate and they're not filling their cup back up. So, that message you want to start giving to yourself through your behaviors, bringing your behaviors in harmony with your belief system and the lifestyle you want to attain, it's going to make you feel better right away. Now, how do you get started? Like, let's say you don't already have doTERRA. Many of you on the call are already using doTERRA and some of you are not. So what's the next step in getting started? Well, the best way, the most cost-effective way, the most easy way is to get started with a kit. And doTERRA has several different kits, but these are the 3 kits that I recommend the most in this context. So the Home Essentials kit is doTERRA's top 10 essential oils, ranging from frankincense, lavender, lemon, melaleuca, oregano, peppermint, breathe, digestin, On Guard, deep blue, and it comes with a petal diffuser. So once again, the diffuser is a home and office staple. So those are the large bottles of the essential oils, the 15 milliliter bottles of the top 10 that you're ready to get started on your physical health right away. And once again, physical health impacts emotional health. Some people like to start with emotional aromatherapy kit. So that includes those 6 blends that doTERRA recently released at the end of 2015, and the whole emotional wellness wheel so that you can look at what you're feeling and then see the more appropriate oil for that situation. And it comes with the diffuser. So once again, the aromatherapy component being very important. And then lastly, if you're interested in targeting your gut health, you'd start with the Cleanse and Restore kit. So that has the Lifelong Vitality Pack in it, the probiotics, the GI cleansing formula, the Zendocrine soft gels are more of an organ cleansing essential oil blend, the digestive enzyme, and the lemon essential oil. The good news is the Cleanse and Restore kit contains the 3 required supplements in my Cleanse program, in my Cleanse and Restore plan that I offer. So that's the probiotic, the GX Assist, and the lemon essential oil are all required as part of my Cleanse if you'd like to do that. So when you get a kit, it bundles the product together. So you're going to get it at the cheapest price, the most cost-effective price. You're going to be able to get started with the top tools immediately. And when anybody joins our team, you do get the support on how to use this, how to use your account, how to use the products, because there's a learning curve there. And the good news is all kits come with a free 1-year wholesale membership with doTERRA. So wholesale is 25% less than retail, and it normally costs $35 to get a wholesale account. But you start with a kit and you get a free account, you waive the $35 fee, and you bundle the product together and get it at the cheapest price. So if you're ready to get started with a kit or anything else, please circle back to the person that referred you to this webinar. So that might have been me, that might have been somebody else on my team, whoever that person was that referred you, circle back to them and tell them what your next desired step is. And ideally, you'll do this by the end of tomorrow night, which is Monday night. So today is, I think, the 28th of February. So tomorrow is the last day of February. Monday night is the last day of February. So I'm going to have this recording of this event that we just had, this Essential Oils for Mood Management. I'm going to have this up on my YouTube channel till tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you want to share it with anyone, if you want anyone else to get this message, for over 24 hours, I'll have it up on my YouTube site and I will take it off 9 p.m. Monday night. So if you're ready to get started, you know, either contact the person today or at the very latest tomorrow, because doTERRA is having a New Year, New You promo that ends tomorrow. That's one of my motivations for getting this presentation ready today, is to get everybody in the loop with this New Year, New You promo, which, long story short, all the kits apply to the promo. You start in February with 100 points, you process 100 points in March, doTERRA gives you $100 free of product credit. So I don't want anybody that, you know, doesn't want to miss out on that promo. And that ends, once again, tomorrow night, the last day of February, Monday night there. So also importantly, so upcoming events, March 20th, the first day of spring, is the next group Cleanse and Restore plan that I'm offering. So please visit my website, organize-wellness.com, for details and registration. A perk for anybody on my extended team gets that cleanse for free. And please look at the details on that cleanse. So that cleanse, once again, is going to kill candida in your gut. It's going to elevate the healthy bacteria in your gut. It's going to dramatically reduce the inflammation in your body. You don't have to eat grass the whole time. You can eat wonderfully delicious foods, and it's a 10-day cleanse. So we cleanse for 10 days, and then we restore for 10 days with probiotics and high probiotic food. So it's doable. People have a great experience with it. You can also access all my social media and my YouTube channel from my website. So if you want to see this, or share this, once I upload it to my YouTube channel, probably in the next hour, you can access that all through my website. All my social media is at the top right-hand corner of my website. So I want to thank everybody for your time and attention, and I really hope that you will plant some good things after hearing this and be empowered to take the next steps that you desire. So I am going to stop the record button right now, but hold the line. And so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody on the recording, and then I'm going to do some Q&A right now. So bye, everybody.